I played some really phenomenal demos during this Indie Next Fest recently. It's been really, really good, and I'll share some of those with you. MEGALOOT, however, has really caught my eye as a game that is a roguelike that is deceptively simple looking and yet has one of the best gearing and character customization systems I've ever seen in one of these games. I ended up spending like 15 minutes on this first screen before I even did my first run and was already fascinated with the game. I was sold on this first screen because the stuff that's shown here is already super interesting. You can go through each of the abilities and take a look at each of these different mechanics and things and see what they do. And already you're starting to think of builds before I even knew how the game worked. I was already starting to think of builds. Something interesting to note here as well is that there's a balancing system. So different adventurers are stronger or weaker than others. They're not all, as easy to play necessarily. And there are stat bonuses that make you just outright stronger. And there are keystones that make the game harder. However, each of these has a plus or minus above it, and that is an effect to your gold gain. So the less gold you get as you take more and more powerful things to begin your run with, that'll have an impact on you in the long term, as gold is very important for obtaining gear. So a really cool balancing system there where the dev can kind of tune things. You'll see physical attack and you'll also see magical attacks, which are done with different weapons, but you'll also see other types of damage too, like for example, poison from toxicity here. And there are other things you can get, like for example, down here, electricity, for example, is kind of like an effect that you apply to an enemy and nearby enemies to do some kind of like passive AoE damage as you shock the enemies. I love how different the adventurers are, right? Like Viren here has 5 max health and poison, and the idea is kind of for them to slowly take care of enemies carefully with their poison stacks, while Tyr, for example, has got 20 max health, which is significantly higher. However, their whole thing is getting hit and then stacking up Fury to increase their physical attack damage, right? On the other hand, while Viren is very squishy, they have a confusion ability where Toxic Smoke can make enemies miss all of their attacks, so playing to evasion and just not even getting hit in the first place. And then the keystones are like modifiers to make the game harder, but they give you a big gold bonus. In my first run, for example, I stacked electricity, which gives you kind of like AoE splash damage, but then I made it so that every battle had lots of enemies in it, and that worked really well. I haven't played Viren yet, and they look super interesting, so let's play them. They allow them to stack poison stacks and then multiply them, poison enemies, and add confusion to evade. And then their passive effect makes it so that when they take damage, they'll instead apply poison to themselves that deals that damage over time. So it's kind of like a staggered incoming damage effect. It seems like pairing evasion with Viren's ability to stagger their incoming damage will be really good, and that's not a big gold penalty to do so. It means we'll have a chance to kind of heal in between taking attacks potentially. Increasing percentage health doesn't seem very good when you only have 5 base, right? 25% would be like 1 health. And they do very little physical damage here. Obviously gear will change that, but toxicity applies poison stack on hit for every toxicity. So I think going for the multi-hit will be super powerful. Obviously that takes us into negative gold, but it's only 1% less gold. That's not too bad. And I'll try and give you a baseline look at the game here. So we'll run without the keystones, but I did a keystone in my first run, like the Swarm one, and it was super interesting. You make something that's really like powerful single target. You could even make all enemies elite, for example, which works really well for upgrading your gear too. So let me take you through how MEGALOOT is actually played and what it does here. So you'll notice immediately that the main screen here, 50% of it is your inventory, the shop, and your character and your character stats. This stays open at all times because this game is a gear management character builder, right? Like that's the main part of the game. This is kind of the main screen, and this is like a secondary screen where you test your character. So we can see, our current gear, the gear that's available in the shop right now, our gold, our health, our mana for activating things like our abilities. So this is an offensive ability when we're in combat phase, but if we attack and then there's still enemies left, we'll go to defensive phase, in which case it'll swap to a defensive ability and so on. And then the enemies will have a chance to attack us. The kind of like combat flow is you want to try and kill the dangerous enemies as quickly as possible before they can do anything. Some enemies will try and do things before you, but generally speaking, most enemies do stuff after. And you want to be paying attention to like different enemy abilities and the various different things that they do. We'll talk more about the combat as we encounter more enemies and that comes into play more. Now the gearing is fascinating. You'll see 3 question marks here, and those are gear sets. And you can have 3 different gear sets on your character, mix and match at once. That might be like wood, that might be like iron, and then that might be like fire or wizard set or something like that, right? So you can mix those 3 things together, and each items have their own set bonuses, and sometimes these things scale as well with more items from that set. So for example, the wood set is pretty simple. It gives luck. What does luck do? If we go into the luck there, you'll see that luck increases your dodge and omni-crit, and then you can like look at omni-crit and it increases, it makes you do giga crits basically. So these are all from the wood set here, but there are some items that are actually multi-set. For example, the wooden sword is actually the wood set and the swift set, which gives multi-attacks, which would be really good on this character if we can get one as well. Armor reduces damage taken in return, so that's a pretty good investment for us to get early on. So when we buy that, left-clicking locks it in place for later, but if we buy that with a right-click, it'll be replaced by another item here. And as long as we haven't started combat yet for this combat round, we can equip whatever we want. So I can go ahead and equip that. And it's activated the wood set now, so we get 25% luck, and we also get the 4 armor for that. Now you'll notice that there's different like tiers and also levels for the armor as well. We'll get into that later, but the tiers, you'll see we have 2 sets of common shoes here costing 1 gold each. If I buy one and then I buy a second, they will combine together into uncommon shoes. Two uncommons will make a rare, and 2 rares will make a legendary, and so on. And there's many tiers of that as well. So if I get this uncommon wooden plates here to merge with my current one, we can make it a rare and it'll gain another 2 armor. We'll probably want to lock that one in place so that we can potentially do that. There's also a hammer here, which we could get in the meantime for physical damage and penetration. You can see the difference in the stats there. 4 pen and 2 damage versus 2 pen and 1 damage. So obviously pretty big upgrades for doing that. Go ahead and equip our shoes as well. And we're going to kill this guy with or without the hammer. So I'm tempted to save my gold and actually not buy the hammers, and instead try and get myself a wooden sword for multi-attacks early, just because I know that's an option for me. Now, I'm pretty sure this guy's going to put up a multi-shield, maybe even before I attack, which will give them kind of like an armor that might save them here. We'll see. So we'll do my normal attack here. We were able to bonk that one before they use their ability. Some of them have like shield abilities that are kind of quick and they put them up first, but that's not the case here, obviously. You can see the little leafling actually does 2 attacks here, so 2 attacks of 1 damage. And has like a little bit of an evasion and stuff like that, but nothing we're really too worried about here. Now we can refresh this gear here now. We've locked this one in place, so it'll stay there, but first I might actually just buy the wooden plates and upgrade that as well. So now we have the 6 armor in addition to our 2 from the boots, which is going to give us a lot of protection against these early enemies here. And better yet, we did get ourselves a common training sword. So you'll see, I mentioned multi-attacks, but you don't see multi-attacks on there, right? But that's because the swiftness set has the set bonus doubles your total attacks. So we can go ahead and put that on now, as we haven't initiated this combat round just yet. But if we had started and there was multiple enemies, then we can't change our gear after that point. And we got lucky and there's actually another sword just behind that, so I'll take that for the extra damage. Alright, let's kill this thing. And you'll see, when you're doing well, you'll actually just be killing enemies and they won't really be attacking you back at all. Now, you may notice that we're getting gold for each enemy killed, and gold and buying things from the shop is your main character progression. Occasionally they will drop items, but there is also XP, but not in the way you might expect. Your gear actually levels up. So there's these XP bars next to each item, and they will grow in magnitude and power as they level up, and that's amplified and multiplied by the tier of it as well. So like a high level rare is really good. So your early game gear can be really good long term until you kind of like start to get strong set synergies that work well for your build. Now you see there's actually 2 enemies here. There's actually a pebbling and then there's a slime behind them. There's 2 kind of combat orientations in this. There's rows and columns. Anything that's in a row will get hit by all of your attack damage carrying through, like you'll pierce through. So we blast that and the slime. Now that's really important for tactics because there might be like a really bad enemy further down the line, and if you think you can overkill through to them, then that can save you a lot of harm, right? The row, however, doesn't get hit. So if I hit the pig here, I won't automatically hit the shield. The shield is still living. Thankfully, chest. The chest is still living. The chest, thankfully, is not anything that's going to attack us, so that's okay. But there are things that can do area. For example, I mentioned the electricity earlier, kind of like splashes to enemies side by side. And if you take that keystone that I was talking about, that makes each battle have at least 6 enemies in it, then you'll pretty much always have like multiple enemies in a row, and that can be a bit dangerous if you are like we are, which is kind of more of a, I would say we're like single target oriented, which is kind of focused more on the one row there. We're getting a lot of hammers here in the shop. We could go ahead and refresh this, but we'll check what the chest has first. Grab that, and whoa, we got lucky and got an amulet of life. That's actually really good for this character. Wow. So not only is it max health, which is really good, and we can start leveling it right away, but the recovery is actually super interesting here because that gives us a regen now, like 8 regen, which with the staggered damage system that Viren has is really good. So whenever we take damage, we instead apply poison to ourselves, And then we can kind of like stagger that damage and then heal through it, hopefully. Hopefully, that's the idea at least. We'll see how that goes. Like I said, I haven't played Viren before, so there might be some unexpected surprises for me here. We haven't started this combat phase yet, so it's a good time to refresh and check for armor upgrades. There is our first, like, kind of next new set here. So we have 2 sets on at the moment. We could add the mercenary set, which is leather gear. And that makes it so that you can convert 2 items per battle into stats instead of just the 1. So as a set bonus, I'm not too interested in that. And we already have our boots here. We could instead just buy some cheap boots and hope to upgrade these uncommons. So I might leave the mercenary set for now. We did get an uncommon sword though, so we'll go ahead and buy that and turn it into a rare for a bit more damage. And then we have lots of sets of the wooden plates. So I will go ahead and buy one of those and try and get another one, because then we can double our rares into, I believe, a legendary. So that'll be really good. And there is uncommon boots here. And that's all good. We don't need to lock this in even, really, because it'll stay there until we do something with the shop. You'll see the shop is also leveling up here too, and that's as we earn gold. So we have a couple of different enemies here. We have like the multi-shield guy here, which we might want to kill first. The pebblings aren't going to do much damage to us. That seems fine. For anything really strong, we can consider our multi-hit toxicity, but I think our mana is possibly better spent on our defensive ability. So let's brap the frog so it doesn't shield the pebblings. And we can go ahead and buy the shoes now. Now, while you can't equip gear once combat has started, see, like I can't change my gear now, upgrades like this still work. So that can kind of get you a mid-combat when you're maybe about to die upgrade. If you refresh and get something that actually upgrades a piece of gear, that might give you just enough extra armor or something to survive. Though I think in this case, specifically with armor, like the max armor fills up, but it doesn't actually refresh until the next combat. Could be good with like health if you have passive healing or something like that though, so worth considering. All right, so we're on the defensive round now, as there's still enemies remaining after we did an attack. So in this case, we can apply poison and confusion to enemies to make them miss, and that will cost 2 mana, and that will guarantee that we don't get hit. So they miss their attacks, and now I'll just attack one and the other will die from the poison. Probably not actually. Yeah. Oh, okay, so interestingly, poison does ignore armor. That's good to know. Well, that does mean armor will be not very useful for us as a survivability tool, because our incoming damage will be getting converted to poison, won't it? Uh-oh. Like I said, I haven't played Viren, so I'm learning new mechanics here. All right, so we use our ability there, and otherwise we're just gonna go with guard here and kind of see what happens. They died to the poison, so no worries there. All right, we can upgrade the wooden plates there, and then we can merge these two together into a legendary wooden plate. So now we have that, and you'll notice the XP persists as well as you change things. So that's all good there. I probably won't buy more uncommon wooden plates to try and upgrade that, as it will take too many to do it. We'll focus our attack here on this row, and we'll hit the little pixie behind it. So we'll brap that, and yep, hopefully kill the pixie as well. Excellent. So now it's just the leafling, and we can just use our ability on this one. And I'll do my refresh here as well. Do I want to buy some uncommon? It would take me just one more uncommon to upgrade the boots again. It's probably worth it. All right, and now we'll do a refresh. Oh, okay, never mind. We'll just do that instead. Get the boot upgrade there. Though I am now considering if armor is going to be even useful for us at all. It might not be. I could just skip and let the poison kill them. We might have to try taking some damage and seeing if there's any use to even equipping armor on Viren. So I'll go for the refresh and see what else we have. There is a wisdom keepsake there that gives magic damage. Otherwise, nothing super useful for us. The refresh will cost 2 now instead of 1. And there is another training sword, but a common's gonna not really go anywhere for us. And it's 5 to refresh again, so we'll leave that for now. I kind of am tempted to take a little bit of damage and just kind of see how that goes. Oh, I actually just rolled my 25% dodge chance twice in a row. got a little lucky with that, I guess. Wait, I've only got like 5 evasion. Okay. Okay, we'll attack through these ones. I'm sure we'll take damage sooner or later. Our multi-attacks are obviously proving very effective at dealing with rows of enemies like that. We have a piggy there and there, but if we get this one first, it won't be able to stun us. However, as it's a new battle, the refresh cost has reset, so we can go ahead and refresh that. Oh, we have another new set here. This one is the Phantom set, which cannot be unequipped. Oh, wait, hold on, wait. Cannot be equipped. All right, I forgot. The Phantom sets, it's actually kind of like an unrevealed item. It will only be revealed once you kill an elite battle. Once you finish a battle with an elite enemy in it. So these are kind of like gambler items, I suppose. We'll probably sell these boots now, as we don't need these. And we can take the extra training sword. Yeah, let's try that. And I might go for the 2-cost reset. I don't think I'll go for that dagger. Common keepsake. There's a chance the common keepsake could be another amulet of life, so I might get that one. There's a training axe there. And the uncommon also could be worth a gamble potentially, but we'll go to combat now. And attack our way through the piggy. We'll get the uncommon. It might be a while before we encounter an elite battle though. There should be one at the end. I'll leave that for now. I think the sword's going to be really good for us. The swift set's very powerful for the multi-attack for stacking poisons. And we'll go ahead and... I want to say just take a little bit of damage off you. What is it? 4 damage? Okay. No, armor does still block for us. Okay, great. Oh, it must be that toxic death. Each time your health is about to take damage. Brilliant. Okay, I was a bit worried. The wording is important there. Very good. So it's only if our health is going to take damage. So armor still prevents that from happening in the first place. Oh, great. So armor's still very useful here in the early game. I find from what I've played so far that most builds will want armor early on, and then we'll swap into other things like more evasion stacking or like the energy shield stacking and things like that. I don't really know what these death messages are. I don't think they do anything. I'm pretty sure they're like backer messages or something like that, right? Oh wait, actually, I think when I finished a run, I did a death message. But you can sell them for a gold. I don't think they do anything if you keep them. We can keep this one by Xander. One of my viewers is named Xander. I wonder if it's them. Let's go ahead and refresh the shop. I'm hoping to get an uncommon training sword, and earlier before the market upgrades too much will be a better time to try and get that. So let's go ahead and do that a few more times. There we go. There's our rare sword into our legendary for 4 physical attack. It's not a big difference, but it could be enough difference to, you know, finish an enemy off. That may not have been. Let's bribe the frog so it doesn't shield the other creatures. And then, I don't think we'll need to use our ability here. We can probably just guard. We dodged that one attack anyway. Don't think it's worth buying the common swords. I don't think I'll spend 5 on the refresh. Do a normal attack here. Blast our way through, but we didn't... These are tanky though. We didn't quite get through that pebbling there. So we're still on offense though. And the shield can't... The shield, I keep calling them shields for some reason. The chest can't attack us back, so we get another attack. Here we have the Arcanum set, which refills magic energy shield at the start of each battle. So this is how the set that you primarily use to build energy shield. Otherwise, it gives some wisdom and evasion, which doesn't really do anything for us. Wisdom scales magic damage. Evasion is useful, but compared to the 4 armor, probably not as useful. So that's something we just sell for 9 gold, which we might do. Let's just refresh this. It would take me a lot of uncommon swords. It'd take me like 4 uncommon swords to make another legendary. Yeah, I don't know about... Maybe we'll try for it. It seems unlikely. Got another death message there. I think they're just an extra gold we can sell. More refresh here? I think I will. Ooh, a nature's collar. That is another amulet type. Interesting. This one is... I don't know if the keepsake is considered the amulet of life or not. We'll find out when it gets revealed, I suppose. Might be worth checking this one. See what it does. Once we can reveal it. We can resell for some money back. Alright, what have we got here? I'll take the Frozen Strike off the Snow Pixie, which applies weakness to us. Not a big deal, but I can also multi-attack and kill the thing behind it too. I'm not too worried about here, so I can save my mana for the next round if I need it, since these aren't doing much damage. Attack through this row. Guard this thing. And attack again. The bats do 9 damage each, which if I leave them both, that's 18 damage. That's actually a lot. So we might want to be a little careful about that. It's time to do a little bit of shopping though. I could get the... It's only 1 gold to get the sword, just in case I get another one. I did refresh over a rare amulet there though. So there's a rare leather hat and some silver leggings. We don't know what the silver set does until we actually reveal the silver leggings, but it could be worth trying. We've got a lot of items here to unlock when we complete a battle. We did get another uncommon sword, and there's another rare. So if we can produce another rare, we'll be able to tear up even further. Interesting. We'll see how we go. It's almost worth like buying these to get a reset, but maybe not quite. Very nice. That was the shop leveling up there, which means it might be a bit harder to get the common training swords now. Just go ahead and guard. We dodged anyway. We're getting really lucky with our dodges. And we'll blast through both of those. We scored a free pair of wooden shoes. And here's our elite battle. I want to do as much shopping as we can to get as many of these as we can before this elite battle. There is a silver helmet and a warrior's chest plate that we can't afford. I might actually go... Oh, so wait, no, the keepsake is wisdom, so we're probably not going to be able to do anything with that. Okay, keepsake's actually the name of the item. Otherwise, I'm guessing it would be the amulet of life. Might actually say it in the end. I'll get the helmet. And there's another common sword. Interesting. Do I try one more refresh here? I might. And it would be a bit too expensive to go again. Alright, so the piggies have the stun attacks. We're going to want to try and get through those. This fight could be pretty scary. Alright, we'll try just an attack here first. There's a frog behind there. We might try and get them. Yeah, because we'll kill the frog there. I'll use the convert ability to convert some extra armor up. Although using our actual ability might have been better to just actually miss those attacks in the first place, but we do have that now. So they obliterated our armor and did enough damage to do 2 poison stacks, but our amulet of life will heal through that pretty well. So I think our ability is probably our first point of call, and then convert's like our backup plan. So for now we will go for that and confuse them, and they'll miss. And you'll notice I had to go 2 defensive rows, like turns in a row there, and that's because this pig stunned me, right? And now we can blast through these things. And the bat does hit us and apply some more poison, but we're healing through it, so that healing amulet's working really well for us here. Now there is another pig behind that bat, which is a bit of a concern. And I don't have any more mana to use my ability. It will die to the poison, but then the pig will hit us. So let's just go ahead and convert this armor to block some of that damage, and we should just be able to kill this pig now. Okay, all right, a little bit touch and go, that elite battle there. It was a little scary. At the end of each like actual floor, you'll be able to pick some of these bonuses here, and sometimes these can be very powerful. So this one actually here applies stacks of electrocharge, and that actually does 25% of those to nearby enemies. I wonder if that will round to 1, and I also wonder if that'll apply poison. Even if it doesn't, that's probably still the better pick here. The healing power could be quite good for us as well. 15% of 8, it's probably only going to be like 1 or 2 extra healing. But I'm very tempted to try the electricity and see if it synergizes with the poison at all. So we'll take that. We can actually re-roll for a small amount as well. I kind of forgot that, but... So now we have an interesting choice at the market as well. So you can shape, once you finish the first floor, you'll start to see like, oh, kind of how am I building my character here? What am I interested in? So then you'll start to think, okay, well, the swiftness set's really good for us. So we can prioritize the swiftness set, and it's much more likely to appear. So there's the silver set, and we can see what that does. Every time you cleanse, you gain a stack of inspiration. Cleanse removes all debuffs, and then inspiration. Next attack will consume 1 stack, and it'll be a direct hit, which ignores armor. Okay. But that does rely on a cleanse status that we don't have access to. The swiftness, however, is very good, so we're probably going to focus on that swiftness set. So the shop is now prioritized to swiftness. It's 45% cheaper and is much more likely to appear. So we have a little Blackthorn enemy here, which deals magic damage back to us when we attack it, I believe. But I think we can refresh out of this here. So all of our items now are revealed from that earlier elite kill. And this one is, cool. I did want to show this as an example here. So I mentioned that sometimes the sets scale with the amount of set items you have. And that's when you get this like times set. So wood set, 25% luck, right? And then this is 20% increased healing power multiplied by how many wood items you have. So if you have 5 wood set items equipped, it'll be actually 100% healing power. And that can be very powerful. I had like a wizard with willpower stacking like this. That just meant that I dealt like several hundred damage. It was crazy. But I don't think we're going to need that, as the healing amulet is where we're getting healing from in the first place. I'm just going to sell these ones. Check the helmet though. We do still have an empty set we can use. And silver just gives that cleanse stuff, which I don't think works for us, but the 8 armor certainly does. And that allows us to also wear the silver leggings, which that really amps up our armor quite a bit here. So I'm happy with that. You'll notice we also see the gold set here, which gives a golden heart at the start of each battle, which is 1 cheat death proc per battle. Actually very good as well. Now, we're at an interesting situation here though. If we wanted to equip that, I would need to unequip either my silver or all of my wooden ones. And in case you're wondering about the amulet, it's got this generic set, which doesn't contribute. So gold's really good. That cheat death's really good. But I don't want to remove all my wood because that would mean removing the sword. And I don't know if it's worth trading off the silver for. It could be. Then I would lose the 4 armor there too. But it's 4 armor there. I don't know. It's not a bad trade. But the Amulet of Life is definitely a good trade. We're definitely going to do that. And we can upgrade our helmet here. It's 30 golds, but I'll take it. And that kind of locks me into my decision, I think. We can upgrade our leggings too. Very good. All right, there was some more gold set in there, but that's looking pretty good for now. Some very big upgrades to our armor for the moment. All right, let's stack this thing. You can see we took a fair bit of damage back from the reflect. I'm guessing with our multi-hitting setup, those might be a bit more dangerous for us. These jelly rat can be a real problem if you don't kill them because they'll try to kind of stun lock you a bit. Which can be really rough, but focusing them down will help. So you'll notice that now that we're on floor 2, the refresh base price is 2 now, so it's a bit more expensive to begin with. Oh, you know what we can do now? Mythic training sword. Now it's still only 5 attack. Like it's really kind of low value here. But when it levels up, it should be a pretty substantial improvement. And it did just level up to 10. You see how it doubled? So that's kind of the payoff I was looking for there. Each upgraded tier adds 1 extra attack to the base training sword, but then level 2 multiplies that all by 2. So that's when it kind of pays off a bit for us. I'm not really going to go beyond Mythic though, so that'll have to do for now. Okay, this is interesting. The Scout set, every time you dodge, gain 1 critical attack. It'll consume 1 stack and gain a critical strike. And then critical strike's obviously like a damage multiplier. Otherwise, 20% evasion is pretty good for us and possibly better than 8 armor. But again, we would have to de-equip like all of the silver for that. Or all of the wood. So I'm not sold. Not sold on that being the right call right now. But at some point, we're going to have to probably make that decision to try and swap over. All right, we see our first ring, though. I definitely going to want to consider gold now because this is a gold set ring with lifesteal. And that's another good way for us to get healing, too. So now I'm thinking, okay, now we want to start maybe looking at the gold. Chainmail is an interesting option, too, because it's generic. It doesn't contribute, so we can kind of use that to drop wood, potentially. But I do really want to keep that extra attacks. And you can see now how like the gearing puzzle and the character building in this game is just fascinating, right? So this one's Spellbind, which locks away our abilities. It's pretty bad if you're relying on your defensive ability a lot. And so you're seeing the electrocharge there splash over onto the adjacent target. And this is like another dot effectively, right? It'll deal that amount of damage. So we are getting like a little bit of adjacent dot, but it's not also applying poisons, which I didn't really expect it would, but good to know for sure that it doesn't. We can get that ring now, which I will buy that ring because I think there's a pretty good chance we're going to try and end up using that. And it might just mean like swapping out the silver for gold. Like, you know, we get gold legs and drop the silver helmet and legs and then put the ring on as well. But we'll probably want to get more items before we make that swap. So for now, we just have to let the skeleton hit us a couple times. We can use our ability, it's fine. There we go. Notice I haven't really used my defensive ability. It's because we only have 2 mana at the moment. If we got more, I'd be a bit more likely to use my offensive ability. I think I should go for the jelly rack and then just let the Fronk do its shielding. I should have done my reset, probably. Refresh of the vendor. Nothing here I really want, so we'll leave that for now. I'll just guard that. I'm not expecting a lot of damage from these things. We'll kill this. And it's taking a little tiny bit of damage from the lightning. Oh, the little Lee things don't do a lot of damage to us, eh? Alright, we've got a couple little leafings here. Let's do another refresh just to farm this shop. Hunger Blade. Interesting. Every time you heal, gain a stack of Vimblow once per turn. Now the sword, the blade itself gives physical attack multiplied by how many flesh items you have, and it gives max health as well. Interesting. And then what does Vimblow do? When attacking, consume 1 stack and gain bonus physical attack equal to your max health. So this is very much like a health retaliation strike stacking thing. It could be good for us just for kind of the leech aspect of it as a little bit of a damage boost, but I don't think it's going to be too good for us. Not better than the extra attack from the training sword for now. Okay. If we're gonna... Are we gonna need chainmail? Yeah. It'd be kind of a luxury, I think. Alright, let's attack through this round then. And then we can do our cheap refresh. We got some leather boots and stuff there. We are probably going to want to try and get some golden leggings so we can swap into the gold set. I probably should have reserved the ones earlier even. We will go ahead and... let's get rid of the picks so it doesn't apply weakness to us. And then we can probably just guard this one. These aren't very dangerous. Blast my way through these things. And we've managed to stack kind of like through our various attacks, like 5 stacks of electrocharge here. So it's actually working pretty well on this build. The electrocharge. We're not doing like big amounts of it, but we are kind of stacking it up a bit, right? Okay, so we have the spellbind here, but we also have a goblin. They'll steal your gold and then run away with it. So you want to kill them as quickly as you can. We can also just spend our gold and then there's like nothing for it to steal. So you'll see now to equip the golden set, we'll have to take off the silver set, but I think that'll be an okay trade-off. We're losing 12 armor, but we're gaining the lifesteal. You know, that might not actually be worth it right now. That will be worth it a little bit later on. But right now, the armor is probably doing more. Yeah. So we're building up towards a swap to a gold set, I think. There's some advantage to earning more XP for it early on, but I think it's okay for now. Kill the goblin. And the little pebble behind it. This thing will probably ability lock us. Or did it not use its ability? Oh, no. It didn't. That's great. You might as well use my confusion poison here. That'll kill the bat passively. Nice. Nice. Alright, we got, like, looks like there's a spiky and a ball behind that one. I'll do our refresh. There's another Amulet of Life. We'll definitely want that. And there's a Warrior's Dagger. So that is actually Warrior and Swiftness. So swapping to this would keep Swiftness for us, give us more damage, but it would change allow us to change out of our wood into Warrior, and Warrior has something that procs every time you attack. That's interesting. I want to see what that is. Combat Insight makes it so the next time you're about to be attacked and have 5 or more stacks of it, you consume them and instead parry. And parry returns the damage and status effects to the attacker. It literally just reflects it back to them. Sick. That's really good with our multi-attacking, right? Like, that's a very powerful effect for us. It is 150 gold, which is a lot. So that would take some saving up to do because it's legendary. And it would also lock this slot down until we can do that. I do like the look of that warrior set. We'd swap off our wood ones and we'd probably want to get some chainmail for the chest instead. Okay, so there's a lot to consider there. Be worth trying to go for, I think, though. That could be like our kind of ideal end game set, I suspect. Let's just do our toxic smoke here. We'll buy the amulet, get that upgrade because that is really good for us as well. Do we want to try and upgrade the golden leggings? Obviously, every time we're spending 40 on this, we're going to be kind of like delaying ourselves a bit. But that armor could be really important too, so maybe blast our way through here. Took a lot of reflect damage off that thing though. I'm getting very worried about those slawns. I could try and let the poison from my ability kill it. From my defensive ability, maybe? Maybe that's what we do. I say we got a golden sword, so it's physical attack multiplied by gold set too. I don't think we'd use that. Sell it for gold. Okay, let's attack through the middle here and get rid of these ones. I don't want to directly attack that thing if I can help it. So I'm gonna try and like passively kill it with poison and stuff. Just because I'm getting a bit worried about that reflect damage there. So it's got 3 stacks of this and 4 of this, but the armor is absorbing the electro charges from the looks of it. Every time the owner gets hit from a non-direct hit, you deal magic damage to the attacker based on the owner's active armor from one that doesn't ignore armor. So it's any damage dealt to the armor effectively based on owner's active armor. Okay, so if we can diminish their armor with electro charges, they'll do less damage back to us. Ooh, okay. So if we can kind of be patient with them, that's actually a solution for us. Or, you know, deal more damage to their armor in the first place. Some amount based on 24, right? I assume it's actually just straight up 24 damage. But I might be doing that twice, which I should survive. Okay, it was a bit less than that, so I'm still not quite sure how that one works. But that seems like a good strategy, though. Kind of be a little bit indirect with how we tackle the slawns. You work out, depending on your build, different strategies for each like different enemy type that you encounter. There's our golden leggings. I haven't decided whether we want to swap to that though. I think it's probably worth it with the upgrade of the leggings. I do want to save up gold for that sword though. So we might swap this now and take the silvers off. Put this on. We have a bit less armor now. We'll see, because I'll keep this for now because I might want to swap it around. Okay, let's really try and save up for that legendary warrior's dagger. I've got some issues here though. Spellbind might disable our abilities. This thing's got stun attacks. Let's go the stun attack first. Get rid of that thing. And a chest. Ooh, what's this? Common Orion's Core. It gives max health and armor pen multiplied by Orion's set. I think this is a rare set. 45% chance to armor break on hit. Interesting. Armor break on hit. Break target's armor by reducing it to 0. Just straight up destroys armor. So that would be a great like armor crusher for us to deal with Slawns potentially. But we can't fit the Orion's Core set. No chance. It does sell for 30 gold, so I might keep that and maybe sell it. Okay, let's use our... What do you do? 4 damage, 10 damage. Let's just use our ability to block these then. And apply the passive poison damage there as well. And then attack through this thing. Thankfully it didn't use its ability bind on us. And we'll just guard. And, you know, I'm probably safest just guarding. But, yeah, it looks like it's not too much damage. It's not too much damage. As long as that armor's been reduced down a bit, I think we're not too worried. Alright, we got some elites here. Alright, alright. We'll definitely focus the boar in the middle. It looks like there's maybe... Oh, there's maybe one of those Slawns behind it, though. Could be a little iffy. We did get lifesteal now, though, which might kind of make us almost immune to it. Let's refresh the store just a little bit. Just on the off chance I get, like, a golden helmet, right? Because that'd be really good for us. Ooh, we could go for the cheaper warrior's daggers, temporarily. It wouldn't really be helping me too much, though, would it? It would give me the warrior set's combat insight effect, which is pretty cool. It gives the parry ability. And we could upgrade it straight to an uncommon. Interesting, but we would need to drop all of the wood. So the boots, the chest, and the sword. So we'd lose 20-something armor. Ooh, it would be a bit risky, right? It would be a little bit risky. Yeah, let's hold off on that one for now. I might... Yeah, no, I think I'll just leave it. We'll just go for the attack on this one. Oh, okay. I took a lot of damage there. That's definitely a worry. Okay, those Slawns... Oh, that Slawn had like 83 armor. I should have considered that it would be an elite and that it would have tons. I'm going to take like 11 poison there. I've still got my cheat death proc, but I don't know if that's going to kill me right away or if I'm going to heal. When does the heal go? The recovery... Every turn. It doesn't say if it's the start or end, though. I'm not exactly sure when the heal procs. Yeah, I'm not sure about the order of operations on this one. This is going to be a learning experience for me. We're going to go for the poison and confusion, definitely, and just try and weather that. I don't think a convert's going to save us or anything. Ooh, okay, that did proc our cheat death proc. Does that mean we just die, or will my attack leech through the damage enough, maybe? Uh-oh. This might be the end of this run here. I'm going to attack this thing. I'm at 0. Yeah, no, we're dead. We're dead. Okay. Okay. Oh, I'm discovering something new here. Apparently when you die, there's like, you go into a ghostly mode or something. Maybe that's like maybe there's like a soft hardcore mode, you know, where you can try and get through on that one life, or you can try and get through as like a ghost. I hadn't experienced that yet. Interesting. I don't know how that mechanic works. Well, that means we can try this fight again. Maybe you get one more chance. Let's have a look. Maybe we can try this fight again. So attacking the pig and hitting the Slawn behind it was obviously a bad idea. So let's focus on killing this leafling and the pigs behind it. See how we go with this second attempt here. So we will possibly get stunned here, but we can at least avoid this hit now. Do I want to do that now? Avoid that stun? Interesting. Let's try. I'm a little unsure if we want to try and use that like poison to deal with the Slawn behind it, like, because we're gonna have to just potentially attack it, aren't we? No. We'll see. We'll take a different approach here, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. All right, we're gonna have to guard here. What have we got? Wisdom and evasion. Is the guard just better? Guard might be better. Okay, we're not taking a lot of damage here at least. The passive damage did the trick, but yeah, now we're at the problem where it's just the Salon. We don't have any way of like kind of dealing passive damage to it. And I'm probably just going to bonk it a bunch of times and get myself killed to the Blackthorn effect. Okay. Well, what about if I play defensively? Is that going to help me at all? Probably not. I can just keep converting to see if I can get enough damage to kind of crack through. Even with these, it's not really going to work, is it? Alright, well, here goes nothing. Oh, man. Maybe if I can kill it before the poison kills me? No, there's no way. There's our cheat death. But maybe I can kill it now and end this, and maybe the poison will end? Let's see. Yeah, nah. Oh, it was kind of close. It was kind of close. There we go. It looks like you get 1 extra turn when you die. I didn't know that. That's fascinating. So there's like 5 floors currently, and quite a few more gear sets than what you've seen here. Consider it's just a small preview since we died there, but it kind of gives you maybe a little bit of a taste of how the game works. I think it's fascinating. It has such a cool gearing system, and this is our death message there, which is the ones that seem to appear there. And like, there's such a big difference between the playstyles too, because I hadn't played Viren before. The poison and the defensive mechanics of that work really well. Obviously, kind of a problem I still need to figure out how to solve more. I played Piri, for example, before, which was very squishy, but I was able to do a lot of damage scaling with them, and eventually was able to get very strong with like the energy shield effects. Tia being kind of that like revenge damage stuff seems very powerful as well. So lots of different ways of playing there, and even like modifying the enemies a lot here as well, like making it all enemies elite, 6 enemies. That's gonna be a pretty fun run, right? Like get 7% bonus gold, but 6 enemies and all of them are elites. Oh yeah, right? That's gonna be awesome. That's gonna be awesome. Do something like Tia with Furies based on like your maximum health or something, is it? Every time you get hit, you gain a stack of Fury. Something here was based on maximum something or other. Look at that, round 1 and the enemies are like elites right away. That's awesome. That's very cool. There we go, let's have a look at that. Put that sword on that. Wait, you don't equip swords? Wait, this guy doesn't even equip swords. I didn't even know that. Look, he's got 3 ring slots. He doesn't actually equip a weapon. So you don't scale through weapons at all. You scale through taking hits. Cool. That's very cool. Wow. Oh wow, we got like golden boots right at the start there. That's pretty crazy. So we just focus on taking those hits and trying to like not take too much damage from it, alright? So like I think the blocks still work, yeah? So then we get 2 Fury, and then it resets at the end of the battle. Wow, okay. And then we take that damage. So it's all just about taking those hits as much as possible. That's going to change how you play completely. It seems like the double attack is definitely very strong with this because you're multiplying effectively how much that Fury is doing, right? Because now we're going to do 6 damage. Nice. Yes, keep hitting me. 8 damage. Oh yeah, so cool. That's awesome. I like this always elites thing too, because obviously it's like more enemy. You can do more enemies with the extra enemies one, and you're getting more elites, which I don't know if the elites give more golds. I kind of presume they do, but also you're gonna unlock those elite items every single time, aren't you? Seems like getting armor is gonna be good on this guy. Oh yeah, put that armor on. All right, give me that attack. We're back down to no damage, but then we take the hits. We get our Fury stacked up. Just keep guarding and blocking. You block the big attacks, you kind of let the smaller attacks through. Go for the block there. Still stack up the Fury, and we're already up to like 16 damage from the doubling of the attack there. Oh ho ho! Look at that, silver chestplate right off the bat there. Damn, getting some nice weapons and gear off that those elites. But that's a little bit of a preview of MEGALOOT. It has a free demo you can check out now, and the game is releasing sometime this year. definitely one to keep an eye on, as that just has a fascinating character building and gearing system, right? Just like super creative, very cool. Feels so refined for a game that's in alpha. So I look forward to seeing where they take it with just more. They're planning a lot more heroes and a lot more item sets and a lot more levels and things like that too. So I think it's going to be an absolute blast. Anyway, that's it for now. I'm ZiggyD, and thanks for watching.